Holy shit, we're going.
Man, it's about time.
Holy hell. That took
And
a little while.
My bad for earlier, dude. I fucking went. Remember, I told you I was gonna put a pot of coffee on before we started.
Yes.
Well, I went and took a shit as it was brewing, and didn't know there was a hole in the bottom of the goddamn coffee thing, the pot. Come out, dude.
There's a hole in the coffee pot?
A crack, because I remember it was hot, and I fucking cleaned it with cold water, and it cracked.
Yep.
And I was like, that doesn't look like anything's gonna get through that. Dude, come out and just coffee all over the place. I was like, motherfuck. So I wiped my ass and then wiped the coffee off the goddamn floor.
Probably same consistency.
Oh, it was, dude. I forgot to pack my lunch yesterday and took something out of the Wheel of Death, some kind of chicken sandwich, dude. And it, boy, tore me up.
That'll absolutely happen.
But
holy heck,
Daddy tickles, but man, Dad tickles.
It's been
father.
It has been a month since we did the last one. We took
a
nice little vacation. Big thanks to everybody for the patience, because
absolutely
shit got wild here.
Glad we didn't get any death threats or anything.
I know, but dude, life is different now, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's been a pretty eventful last few weeks for me. It was nice to step away and not have to worry about this on top of everything else for a little bit.
Right. For sure, dude.
But yeah, so we had a baby boy.
Old Van Joseph.
Van Joseph. Dope ass name for a dope ass kid.
Yeah, dude, I teared up when you sent me the first picture. I hadn't teared up like that since Super Bowl 40.
Dude, it was a wild ride, man.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it.
Sure. There was it's long because, we were there a lot longer than we expected. So
how many days were you there from when you were like, well, you texted me, said, are you ready to be an uncle? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, she ain't due for.
Right. Strange. So from the beginning, we got to the point in her doctor visits, like the checkups as she was pregnant. They just check up on you every once in a while, make sure everything's going good. And the closer you get to your pregnancy, the more frequent they are.
Okay.
So we got to the point where it was like every week, and that was it. Like we were going every week up until the due date, which was actually tomorrow.
That's right.
June 4th. Yeah, June 4th was the original due date. And so we were to the point where it was like, okay, we're going every week for the next few weeks, and then, we're having this kid at some point. And every appointment up until that point, let me bring up the calendar so I get days going. So this was, I'm so lost already. Okay, so this was the 13th of May.
Okay.
13th of May, it's a Monday. Every appointment up to this point, spot on, perfect. Everything's great, like better than you could ever imagine, essentially. Where it was just like
smooth sailing,
right? Like, okay, everything's great, and you're like, oh, that's it. Okay, so we're just like everything perfect. So these weekly ones, they end up, just giving you whatever time slots they got. And we used to go like noonish, right?
Okay.
Midday. You know me, I'm a late night guy. I don't do fucking 8 a.m.s.
Late riser.
Yes. Well, late to bed as well. I do my best thinking after midnight.
Like I'm usually, because I'm an early riser, man. I'm up 5. Like I'm usually waking up when you're passing out.
Well, I've actually enjoyed getting up early recently. It's been nice to like see the early rays of sunlight.
Oh,
those ones feel a little bit better than the fucking late afternoon ones.
It's a new day. It's a new opportunity to do absolutely nothing. Yes.
Story of my life, sir.
Yeah, straight up, straight down, dude.
But no, everything. So what happens is it's a Monday. It's been 1 week since our last one, and it's an 8 a.m. appointment. So I'm like, okay.
Fuck this.
And this was like, it was either the first or the second appointment that I had missed. I went to every one. I was, Always there. Even sometimes they're 10 minutes. Like it was
Uh-huh.
the most basic nonsense. Like they just checked his heartbeat and made sure he was good, and then they're like, okay, yeah, you're good. See ya.
Checking vitals.
Yeah, but I went to everyone. And again, that's probably the first or maybe second one I missed. And 8 a.m. I'm snoozing out. Uh, and then I got I think it was a phone call. I don't know. It's so blurry at this point. It's been a little bit, but I believe it was a phone call from her on her way home from the doctor's appointment.
Okay.
And she's like, "Okay, well, so this one didn't go great. This is the one where it was like, well, you're kind of waiting for him to tell you something that's like just not absolutely great. And today was the day. I was like, fuck, okay. And she's like, so what happened was she went in. Her blood pressure was high. That was it.
Okay.
Um, her blood pressure was high the day before, which was Mother's Day. The day before, I got a little loose with my mom and grandma on
Hell
Mother's Day.
yeah.
So that was partially the reason I didn't go as well. I was still kind of nursing a little bit of a hangover. Um, but anyway, so she's like, high blood pressure. And then the day before Mother's Day, when we were out, she kind of she got a headache, and that's been bugging her. So those two coupled together, they looked at it and they're like, eh. Her Our doctor was like, I think I probably just want to send you down to like the hospital, just to get some tests, just to like
Uh-huh.
see, Um, she was very like, take everything just in case you need it. But essentially, I just want to get you like, no worries, I'll probably send you home later today, kind of thing. So they send us down, and I mean, she's a little worried, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just go see what's. And so we go down. It's Monday. They check. There's something in her urine, protein in her urine, and like they're like, here's this mark. If you're over that, you're like, you have this condition,
Okay.
um, called like preeclampsia or something. I don't know. It's essentially just like high blood pressure, and it's just not great for mother or baby. And like the longer you go, like the worse it kind of gets.
Okay.
So there's this line here. If you're over that, whatever. She was like right below it, so they're like, ah, shit. And
Yeah.
and at this point, they're kind of like the one nurse there, the midwife that was actually looking at it, like looking at all her shit and everything, was like, so you're 37 weeks tomorrow, which is, I guess, the milestone. That's kind of like when after 37 weeks, they're like, this baby's pretty much fully developed. It just needs to grow. Like it just grows over this time. So everything's fully developed. It's like a full term baby essentially.
Okay.
You know, it's not like premature or anything. So she's like, oh, you're 37 tomorrow. If it were me, I would just have you stay here tonight, and then we'll induce you at midnight. And like, jaws dropped, I guess.
Game time.
It was very strange because it was such an easy ride up until that point. Everything was great, and then like one little thing, like they were like, just go down and check, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we should probably just get this baby out tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Like, uh,
Man.
that was 1, 2, 3, like 3 weeks prior to the due date. So we're still thinking we've got at least shit, most likely at least 2, if not a week plus more of time.
Right.
We're not prepared for this. Although I don't think we would have been prepared at any point. Like it's a, it's a
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah.
But
When game time comes, man, it's time. There's no. Yeah. You can't prepare for that. How
especially
you
with
prepare
that,
for
there's no like, pause this. Like, yeah, sometimes a video game, I'll just, you know what, we'll save it here. I'll come back tomorrow.
Right.
Can't fucking do that. So we're down there, and like kind of drops that bomb on us, and it's like, oh fuck, like kind of just came down here for a checkup. Now we're like, are we staying here and coming home with like a kid tomorrow? Like shit.
Right.
So they do some discussing like with her doctor and, keep an eye on their tests or whatever, give her some Tylenol or whatever the fuck it is to take her headache away. And she starts feeling a little bit better. Her blood pressure looks a little bit better. It's not great, but it's came down a little bit, and they're discussing it. And then she's like, "Well, I'd like to just keep you overnight because we should just do that kind of thing."
Okay.
And the wife is not like she's not into it. She's like, "No, like she was very adamant that she wanted to come home." I mean, I wasn't against it because we did have some things to do.
Right.
Like I could have used the night to get a few more things ready, and I did. Shitting my pants at like 2 a.m. Like, okay, how do I put this car seat together? How does this thing go in? Like figuring that shit out.
YouTube and shit. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I spent a lot of time on YouTube that night.
game changer.
So she's like, well, if you feel strongly that you want to go home, we'll send you home. If your headache comes back, you got to come back right away. But essentially go home. We're going to call you tomorrow when we have a room open for you, and we're going to get this fucking thing moving. So, go. What's up?
No rest for the wicked, dude. It's time to come, boy.
Right. And I'm like, I was hoping they'd push us off to like closer to the week, whatever. Nope. Tomorrow we're back, and not even like a late day. They were like, yeah, we'll call you between 8 and noon. And I'm like, motherfuck. I don't get up that early. And, I'm going to be up all night doing shit. So they call us, and it's pretty early. It's probably 9 a.m. And they're like, okay, we got a room. Come on down. Bob Barker style. And so we take our time getting ready, kind of just like taking a few deep breaths. We drive down to the hospital. They give us this room. It's decent. Nice room down there. We went to McGee, by the way.
That's where the big dog come out.
Yeah. It was. I was impressed. They were great the entire time. But they set us up in this room, and essentially we got a little view overlooking Boulevard of the Allies. There, I was looking right at the Sunoco, and
oh, dude. I've thrown up in that parking lot like 20 times.
I remember leaving an Oakland night down there with Fagan and Ben and all those guys. We went up fucking hammered. I don't know. And that's where I went in the morning because I was like, I don't know. I need to put something in my body because I'm going to die on this way home.
Dude, you know the story about us fucking throwing cans off that road? The cops got involved.
I think I heard that.
Dude, well, real quick, just
go ahead.
Because I don't want to talk about this story, dude, because it was fucked up. But anyways, it was Ben's birthday, and we got a hotel room down there. Yes. He had. We'll talk about this on another episode in detail. But someone told me someone was like, see if you could throw a can across the Boulevard of the Allies. So we're throwing cans, dude. This fucking truck stops, man. It puts a spotlight on us, and next thing you know, dude, the cops were. We'll talk about it later, dude. But man, I forgot about that. Fuck that shit.
Put the projectile.
Yeah, he got charged with projectile of missiles, a Class B felony. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, we'll get into that one later.
Oh man.
But anyway, we're overlooking. I got a nice, well, not a nice little couch. I mean, it's a couch like I can lay on, kind of thing.
2-seater.
It's got 3 cushions. Like I was sleeping on it for a few nights, so I mean, I was able to like lay out. Nice. It wasn't the widest thing in the world, but it was okay. It was enough. And she had her bed. There was a TV, so we got to watch we were watching some Bucko games here and there. So we set up in this room, and they start dropping some shit in her IV to get the whole process moving.
So that's how I never knew. I was going to ask you that when the time came. When you induce someone, it's just through the IV. Like I didn't know if they like Gave
there
you
are
a pill or something?
so there are multiple things, and we saw a lot of them. So first off, they give you an IV, and then they'll start dripping like one hormone, and that's kind of to get let me see. I think it's to get you dilated, right? So like the cervix has to open before the fucking baby can come out.
Okay.
Um, and essentially I think it starts like fucking closed. And they would like check her every little bit and like give us updates. But essentially an IV, you get something to start the whole opening process, right? You gotta get that thing dilated so the baby
Okay.
can squeeze out. And that's what they start you on first. So they started that. And then also what they'll do is they they'll put like a pill, I guess, like up against her cervix to help quicken the process as well. So they start dropping these and they're like, okay, we're gonna put this pill in there. It's gonna sit there. It's a 4 hour medicine. So like we'll be back in, 4 hours or so to
Okay.
check you and see like what kind of progress we made between the two of them. So they start doing that. And they don't come back every 4 hours because, their dog, they got other shit going on. They're dealing with
Right.
other people. And so it ends up being like 5+ hours. And then they'd come back and check. And then first time they're like, okay, like not really anything. Boom, another one. Here you go. And then you wait that one out. And at that point you're probably nearly 12 hours deep just being there. At that
Jesus
point, just
Christ.
trying, right? So the time is fucking flying. I went to the gift shop and I got myself a crossword book and I killed a lot of time.
You seem like you'd be all right at the crosswords. I
I
suck at them.
Yeah, there was a nurse or two that made the comment. I, they didn't seem like the crossword puzzle type, to be honest, but they were like
Right.
crosswords, like those things are hard, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, they make different levels. I mean, they're extremely easy ones. Uh, I'm not a professional. I'm not Bob Sum yet, but
Oh, dude, that guy will take shits for man because he's always backed up. But dude, you come back and just you read it's like, Dad, you did 3 of them, and it's like adjective for anger, and he's like, it's like
yep.
a 7-letter word. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dad.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I've kept doing them since I came home. You know,
Man.
it's fun. It gets your brain going.
Right, right. Dude, I like if I want to play something like that. I'm a Sudoku guy.
Okay, I can do that. I was big into that back in the day. In high school, I was one of the little jerk offs that was like carrying one of those books around because that's what I did with my spare time. Fuck talking to people. I'm in a
Didn't
high
have the app
performance.
yet.
Yeah, nah, not on the old flip phones yet.
Right.
So we're there, and I mean they're doing that. They're pumping those pills in, and essentially they came back at one point. I think might have been after like the third one they put in, and they checked again, and they were like, yeah, still nothing. And this is, I don't, extremely early. I want to say like 6 to 8 a.m. When they're checking. It had probably be the third one by then or whatever, and they're in like every fucking 2 hours. Checking
Update.
like right, checking her blood pressure, making sure everything's still good. They had these bands tied around her with like heartbeat monitors for the baby and shit. She said they were
Okay.
the most uncomfortable thing ever.
Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine giving
But
birth.
so she's right. So she's there and they came in and dude, that was probably the only time I got frustrated in there because we had been there for a full day now.
And just
And
nothing.
and they were like, yeah, every time they've updated us, it has been nothing. And I'm like, what in the fuck? It like what I was like that, that cliched angry fucking father in the movies or whatnot that go like wants to go around fucking yelling at people, but I don't go yell at people. Like I go slam a fucking door and walk away. Like I'm upset.
I laughed the doctor was like, sit down, hard ass.
They probably would have been, and I probably would have sat down and shut the fuck up real quick. So I wasn't putting myself in that situation. But like that was the one time I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we have been here a full day and she's uncomfortable. You know, like the exams and them checking her is not fun for her, you know. And like it's kind of upsetting for me because it's tough to watch her go through, like,
right, man.
How many times are you gonna fucking poke her and check her and this and that? It's like, and you're getting nothing. So like, we just got to keep doing this. So at one point they're like, fuck it, we got this thing. So it's essentially the same medicine. It's a little bit different form, and we put it up there, and then it's a 12-hour. So you're like, oh, so it's like 3 of those fucking pills, right?
Man, let's just
you're
do
like,
it again.
fuck it, do it. You know, like anything to get it fucking going at this point. They put the 12-hour thing in there, and then boom, you know, again, another 13, 14 hours later, they come, they fucking check, and they're like, nothing, like barely anything. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude. I mean, I don't even know like the timeline at this point, but we're well into Tuesday by this point. Or no, I'm sorry. We started on Tuesday. We're well into Wednesday at this point. So,
Jesus Christ,
insane. And it's, you know, it sucks for me because, well, it sucks for her. Like, she can't leave. She can't go anywhere.
Right.
Like, she's at the hospital. She could get up and like go to the bathroom and shit, but it's also a pain for her. Like, so she's kind of hanging out. There's nothing for me to do there. I wasn't like gonna leave and walk around fucking Oakland for no reason at all. I mean, I took a stroll around the block once or twice, but
get your mind right.
Right. But other than that, I mean, we're just sitting there. We got caught. What the fuck did we watch? We watched a lot of ridiculousness.
Yeah, that's a good time killer, dude.
It is.
I hate that fucking girl on there.
Me too. Fucking the worst. Absolute worst.
Yeah.
But it's also something
now?
we could watch with the sound off.
Right. No, that's perfect, dude. Just watch people get fucked up.
Yeah. So we had like sound off. We just listen to music and, you know, do dumb shit and just hang out, like, and just waiting. So the 12-hour thing is like, okay, nothing yet. And like we're getting like a constant rotation of like doctors and nurses at like 12-hour intervals for the most part. So we're seeing like new doctors, and you know, you're seeing we started seeing fresh like repeats. Like this nurse was like, okay, we're off, like, see you, good luck, you know. And then they come back for like their next shift and like, oh, you're still here. And it's
right,
like,
no action.
Yeah, we're still fucking here. So after the 12-hour, I think we went back to like another 4-hour pill, and boom, like whatever. And at some point they were like, you know, the max we can do of these is 6. Like, and I'm pretty sure we hit 5.
Man.
So they put 5 in, and they were like, if we don't get, we can only do 1 more of these. And I'm like, I don't know what the option is after that. You know,
well, no, that's why, like, I was blowing you up down there because you guys were constantly on my mind. I was like, dude, because you were telling me some of this stuff, like, dude, nothing, like, we're getting nothing, and I was like, man, he has to be down there stressing out watching his pregnant wife not suffer, but just be uncomfortable.
Suffer, uncomfortable, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, like.
It was not like, it was very stressful. And the thing is, like I said, they're coming in every 2 hours. I can't sleep. There's constantly something going on, and I want to be up. Like, I want to be in there when somebody comes in. Like, every time the fucking door opens, I like peek up, like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah, so, absolutely.
I'm not sleeping well. And it's been an extremely long process at this point. So they put the 5th one in, and then they're like, okay, we got, like, you're finally, like, the whole way thinned out, and it started opening. And they were trying to get it to 1 centimeter. So I believe 10 centimeters is like birth time, like coming through. They were just trying to get it to like 1. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So this whole process is just to get it like fucking open a 10th of the way. Because I guess once you get it open like a centimeter or a little bit more, they actually have this. It's a little balloon, okay, and I guess they stick it in the dilated hole, right through the dilated hole, and then fill it up with a solution.
To widen it.
Yes, and then they kind of like essentially they were like, yeah, we'll pull on it, like we'll pull tension, we'll tape it, and then we'll come back like every half hour and like pull it a little bit more. So like we're gonna kind of fucking help this thing open up here. Very I should have prefaced this whole story by saying I don't do well with this shit. I'm the guy that fucking hates doctors' offices, hates hospitals.
Yes. Oh God.
They make me queasy. I mean, through her pregnancy, I watched her. They had to take blood for something, and we were at the nurses or the doctor's office here in Monroeville. They had to take blood for something, and these motherfucking nurses missing every fucking time. They poked her like 3 times. I'm on the verge of like fucking. I'm
Oh.
pacing around in the fucking hallway, like nervous as shit. She got an exam the one time, like they were checking something, and the uncomfort on her face, and the doctor left the room, and I literally started undressing. I was like, I got to take this off. I was sweating so bad.
Oh
I near passed out. I hate this shit. I'm I'm the worst. I don't do needles, blood, none of it. Makes me fucking it grosses me out. So they they finally got it, opened enough. They put this fucking balloon in there, right? And they fill it up. And I'm like, okay, God knows how long this is gonna fucking take. And she had to let it sit in there for a little bit, but like 45 minutes later, she's like, I gotta pee. And they're like, yeah, you could like you're fine, you can go to the bathroom and pee. And then you hear her from the like something kind of like wrong, like, well, excuse me. And they're like, yeah. And she's like, it fell out. And which was great because that's what we were trying to do.
Oh. Okay.
We're trying to get it out, right? So that means she went from like the 1 centimeter to like 3.5, like that kind of thing. So she just it's the pace had quickened. So that fell out, and they're like, okay, like we're on the move. You should keep. We're gonna start another drug that's kind of gonna start your contractions, and that's gonna continue to like open everything up, and then we're getting ready for this fucking baby. So I believe this is on Thursday. Finally making it to like, you know, and they're checking her every 4 hours or so, and they come in, they be like, oh, dude, you're like 6. And it's like, whoa, okay, we're making fucking progress. Like,
Because 10's what you want, right?
right. And so once we got to 6, they were like, okay, 6 is the big one. Like, I think she was checked at 5, and they were like, so you want to get to 6 because 6 is a big one. They were like, from 6, it's usually an hour or 2 per centimeter. So like you can kind of have a timeline at that point. And they were like, it could take a while to get to 6. She eventually gets to 6, whatever. We're pumping now. And it kind of quickened up. So late Thursday night into Friday morning now.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, like we're close. Um, so she she had contractions nearly the whole time. They started on Tuesday. Um, but for for a couple days, I believe, they were pretty she described them as mild. Like she said it was more like pressure. It wasn't like any pain or anything, but she would have contractions every few minutes.
Okay.
Um, so they weren't too painful, but at some point they started ramping up a little bit. Once everything started kind of kicking and moving, like, we're finally getting, making some progress here. They started getting a little bit worse. And she was doing the whole epidural thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I'll tell you, we were in there, and this is either the first or second night, I can't remember. And one of the ladies next door, I didn't see anybody, I didn't know anybody else that was in there, but the people who were staying next door, the woman was giving birth. And man, she must have been doing it natural because the screaming coming was insane. Like you would have thought somebody was getting fucking murdered. It was Man, and that put a fear in my heart because I was like, oh my God, we're gonna go through this. Like, that's gonna be her soon.
Oh
Like,
man.
I oh, scared the death out of me. But we're so she and for somewhere along that line, it went from very like mild, like not hurting contractions to like hurting.
And yeah.
She was like, it fucking ramped up real quick. And what they tell you with that epidural, I don't know if you know what it is.
Is it an opiate? I'm retarded, dude.
I believe it is. I
Okay.
do. It's some kind of pain medication. Now, they put it makes me queasy talking about it even here. Put a giant needle in your fucking back.
In the spine.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's I'm having a tough time even describing it. But it's a needle in your back. They put it in, and then essentially they put like this. It looked like it's a small tubing that was like coming out of her back.
Just to
So
feed it.
they tap into something, and then there's like this tubing that comes out. They hook that up to like the IV bag, and then it drips in there.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to keep my lunch down. So what they tell her is you can have it at any point, right? Like
Okay.
you tell us when you want it. Now, her reason, and I get it, especially early on when nothing was happening, she was like, if I get it, I'm bedridden. Like I can't get up because you can't feel your legs at that point. Like it kind of numbs you.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't want to be stuck in bed for like 3 days. So and the contractions were hurting, so she was like, fuck it, like I'll ride it for now. And then all of a sudden, I think she said within like an hour, they went from like a nice little 2 pain to like a 6, 7, like holy fuck pain.
Yeah.
And they tell you to try and get it before the pain gets too bad because you have to sit still for it. And
Oh man.
right. So, and they're like, and we're gonna need like, I don't know, depending on the anesthesiologist and how busy they are, like we're gonna need at least 20 minutes to get them down here. So make sure you give us a good, like don't wait too long. And so they kind of start ramping up. She's like, I should, and then at some point, like, we kind of look at each other and it's like, like it's time because you're not gonna be able to sit still much longer. I can see the
Oh
pain
god.
ramping up. And so what they do is she sits up on the bed. She sits Indian style, and she has to hunch over so they can tap into her fucking back.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh
and
man.
right, and so lady comes in. She's doing it, and I'm I'm doing worse talking about it now than I did when it was happening. Because like in the moment, you're just
Could
like
probably
fuck
kind
it.
of numb them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like.
just completely numb of everything. You're like, fuck it, let's go. Like, let's do this thing. And we know this is something we got to do. And I'm just trying to, like, you're all right. Keep breathing. Like, focus on your breathing. Forget about, like, you got to get your
Yeah.
mind off the
Hold her
pain
hand or
kind of
something,
thing.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, yo, no, real
Anything.
quick, fucking, because I wanted to mention this because I asked my mom if there was any stories about her birth that she could talk about,
Right.
and my dad wasn't the dad holding her hand. He was fucking watching The Price is Right. And my mom is yelling for him, and he gives her the one finger. Not the middle finger, though. 1 second finger.
Like the hold on finger.
Yeah, because he wants to see how far this dude was off of the Showcase Showdown. I was like, yes, dude. Like, if I wasn't gonna be a gambler, that was it, dude. Like, oh, I was so fucking. That is awesome.
Bob didn't watch the first 55 minutes to miss the ending of the Showcase
Yeah, dude.
Showdown.
He don't matter if he's about to have twins. He's seeing how much that boat costs, son. Like,
I know that's a big head in there. He'll tell him to hold on.
right, dude. Because I mean, Abby went first, and I vaguely remember it. I remember, like on the Toy Story when the claw comes down and takes
Yeah.
that alien. I remember Abby was like, "I've been chosen," and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy." And I was like, "I'll see you in a couple minutes, man." No, I had to throw that out there real quick because I
No,
was gonna
that's
forget
good.
about it, dude.
So epidural time. Fuck. And they numb your back essentially. They
What
give
do you
you
think those
lidocaine.
go for on the street?
Oh,
Like,
dude. This is the top quality stuff.
right, dude, just get
You're gonna
tramped
pay.
on.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a lot for that. So they give you like Novocaine, lidocaine in your back to numb you for the big needle right
How long
into
do you
the
think it
spine.
is?
I don't even want to get a couple inches, dude,
Oh
for sure.
God.
So she informed me, uh, and she's probably told me multiple times, but when we get in there, like she's always had trouble with the dentist because like Novocaine and lidocaine don't do much for her.
Okay.
So like she's like, yeah, they like shoot my mouth up and then they go in and do their thing and I can still like feel it. So uh I was worried that that was going to be an issue and it most definitely was. Um so they're trying to numb her back and the lady's trying to like start to go in with the needle and they're like, "Can you feel that?" And she's like, "Yep, I can feel it." You know.
Oh.
Right. So she does that a few times and just kind of stumps them. Like, and it sucks for especially for me because I gotta watch that. I gotta watch the look on their faces when they look at each other like, what the fuck do we do? Because there were those moments many times in in this whole process where I watched like either two doctors or like those people like kind of look at each other and just be like, what the fuck do we do here?
Yeah, that's like the ultimate. Like when people of that kind of education, and this is shit they deal with every day, and
Yeah, they're doing it every day, and you
you
just
see
see
them uncomfortable, dude. I would be like, dude, should I start praying or like,
right,
you know?
right, like, dear
No, that's what.
Jesus, I'm sorry about everything I said. I'm sorry I
Yeah,
said you weren't real. Like, my bad.
I'm sorry for masturbating all the times. I know I should have waited till married to have sex. I can't believe I did this. Yeah, dude, you start taking back shit you didn't steal. You know?
And that's what it was rough because and to see them because I know this is something we need. I'm like she needs this because she is not going to be able to handle giving childbirth without the epidural. So I'm like, what? Like we've just got to figure this out. So nervous. Um, now I think she said she pretty much felt it, but she was like, I know I had to get through it. So just bite down on your lip and like fuck it,
Oh
get it
man.
in there. Um, so they eventually get that shit in, and it stays in her back the whole time until after she's done giving birth and everything. And they hook it up to the IV, and bam, like she goes from so uncomfortable, like like every couple minutes, man, she is just like in terrible pain with those contractions, and then all of a sudden washed away like nothing.
Oh man, I bet that felt so good.
Oh, it was such a relief just to kind of see her just like relax for a little bit and just be able to go like very comforting for me.
Like, oh, this is why people do heroin. Like, oh,
Right.
yeah.
That's why people give up their lives for this shit.
Right.
Okay. Um the and what they said is they didn't want her laying flat on her back because that would mess with like the whole little port thing they got going into her back. So
Okay.
they're like lay slightly sideways. And then essentially the thing works by gravity. So they were like, if you're laying on your left side and you start feeling a little bit in your right, flop over to your right.
Okay.
So like flip flopping, right? The problem is she can't feel her lower half. So probably it was every hour or two she was like, okay, I need to flip, and I'm like, okay, like I'm up there throwing limbs around, just chucking her all over this bed, trying to get her flipped over.
Man, I want to do epidural. I'm doing it, dude. Fucking, I want to see what happens, man.
And so we're doing this and we're waiting, and like this is still while we're checking and stuff. But she did finally get it, and the problem started happening a couple hours in. The first one lasts about 4 hours.
Okay.
And she starts feeling it again. and like not I need a flip feeling. She's like, I can feel it. Like I can feel it. I feel it in my back. Like I can feel it in my legs. Like, and they were doing this test on her. They would get like this little cloth and they would wet it, make it cold. And they would like touch her like the lower part of her leg and like touch her up by her stomach and be like, okay, how cold is it? Like, is it is it the same amount of cold?
Okay.
Because that's how they're telling if she can feel or not. Like if she can feel her.
Dude, they did that at the doctor with my face when I got hit. They're like,
Ugh.
how cold is that? I was like, I don't feel anything, man. They're like, oh.
Wait, you're pressing something against my face?
Yeah, dude.
So they're doing that, and that's they're checking with that occasionally. At 4 hours in, it's like, okay, gonzo. So what they do is they don't up her like dosage per hour per se. It's on a constant drip at like, so many whatever, and she does have a button, one of those cool buttons you always see on the fucking movies and shit where like you hit it, you get an extra boost.
Oh no, man, that's
Yeah.
the hookup, son.
So
Wish I had a whiskey one.
I know. Pump a little extra, like make it a double, sir.
Yeah.
But apparently we didn't use it I think we were allowed like 2 an hour. And
is there like a limit, or could you just abuse the shit out of
No. It was definitely like they gave us the whole breakdown. They were like, you get two of these presses per hour, but they have to be at least 8 minutes apart. So
okay.
So like you could use it, wait 8 minutes, and then use it again, but then you'd be out for like a half hour.
So you just couldn't bring on the heavy pour.
No, absolutely not. They knew what they were doing in there.
Okay.
She probably would have passed out. She'd have kept hitting that fucking thing, dude. But anyway, so apparently we didn't use it enough. So what they do is they come back. They don't up like the dosage or anything, but they used one of the little things in her back and like just shot like a higher dosage in.
Well, how is she like during this time? How is she? Is she like talking to you? Is she like stressing out? Is she like?
No, she is stressing out because she is in pain. Like
absolutely.
The pain is back, and like it's misery. And the thing is, like she can feel it. She starts to feel it a little bit, and she's like, I think it's coming back. And she doesn't like. She's like, okay, like let's flip. Because we haven't had it wear off yet. So it's like, let's flip. Okay, hit the button, blah, blah. And then it's like, man, okay, nothing's working. And then by the time you get to the conclusion that like, fuck, we got to call somebody in here, it's already too fucking late. Like, so she's back in this disgusting pain. And I'm miserable looking at her. And she's like, help me, like, just help. And I'm like, fuck, like, I don't know what to do. I can't help you. Like, and I can't take any of it, So eventually we get somebody in there. They bump that into her. And then you got to wait, 15, 20 minutes after for it to fucking kick in. So, I mean, there were longer periods of extremely high stress time.
Oh, man.
But then, like, it kicked back in and everything be great again. Like, fucking zooming. Great. Perfect. And then the second one didn't even last as long as the first one before it wore off. But at this point, we're early Friday morning, and they're like, well, we're getting ready to fucking push. So, like, prep for pushing, we're going to do it like a half hour. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Man.
But at this point, she has been struggling with this pain for, I want to say 2 hours, dude. It was some like to the point where you've definitely seen it before. But like where people were in so much pain, they just kind of fucking zone out.
Right.
She did that. Like she was in pain for so long. And this one was the most disturbed, like, the puzzled look on the anesthesiologist's face when like she pumped a couple of those fucking shots into her back and she's like, yeah, I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it. and like just the fucking kind of seeing her jaw drop a little bit and just going, oh fuck. And they're like, we're getting ready to push. And I'm like, okay, so she's in fucking pain right now. We're getting ready to push. This is gonna be a shit show.
Oh man. Oh dude.
I mean,
I'm like getting uncomfortable just sitting here on my bed. Like oh my god, dude. Like this is I don't even know, dude. I wouldn't be able to mentally like that's probably why my dad put the prices right on. Like, dude, I'm not dealing with this shit.
absolutely. I mean, you got it. Sometimes you got to fucking get away for a little. Like, 'cause me, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
There's
You just
nothing I
gotta
can
be
do
there.
except be supportive. And being supportive does not help her. Like, you know, it doesn't
Right.
take the pain away for her. So it's kind of bumming me out. But I mean, it's some like she was like just clung to the bedside. And it went from the point where she was like kind of just like screaming and like not screaming, but like just the pain, like the sounds of pain, to looking down at her and being like is it helping? And it hasn't helped, but
Right.
she's just so zoned out and just like you just see the long stare in her eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, like she is that miserable. So the anesthesiologist comes in for the last time before she's pushing and is trying to figure out what she can do. And so she puts like the third fucking shot of she's been here for a half hour now, like just trying to help her out. And she puts the last shot in and she's like, okay, that's the last I can do. And she says something like, okay, I put a dose of lidocaine in there. And and this is and she goes, I've told the nurses many times. And we did go through this with quite a few things where like you'd explain something to a nurse or another nurse or somebody, and there was so much turnover, like not all the information got passed. So it was like,
Right.
oh, well, they didn't tell you that, and they're like,
Oh
oh no, we
man.
didn't know that. And they're like, yeah, we've told like 3, 4 people that already. And like, how don't you guys know that? So we had a few of those situations. Nothing ever major, but I mean, just small things where, like that one, she had told the doctors about like the issues with that stuff at the dentist before.
Uh-huh.
And this lady, she's like, that's the last I can do. Like, give it 20 minutes, hope it kicks in. Um, Gave you a big dose of lidocaine, and she was like, I've told them before, like, I have trouble with the dentist, it doesn't work. And the look this lady gave
Oh
of
man.
shock, of just like, oh my God. Like almost like I could see it in her face. I'm like, oh my, this is gonna be terrible, isn't it? This is gonna be fucking
Jesus
terrible.
Christ, dude.
So they're in there, they're like, look, we're 30 minutes from pushing. We'll be back. Like when we come back, it's time to fucking go. And in that 45 minutes or whatever it was, she actually fucking like I think it kicked in. Now I don't think it kicked in full way, like she wasn't feeling, invincible like she was before. Uh, but it kicked in enough to like she actually fell asleep for a little bit, like got some rest.
Wow.
Yes, it was nice to see. It was like because you're gonna need that, you're gonna need the energy. So Al, now we get to the pushing part, and I've watched too many movies. Let me explain this is what I'm expecting to see, right? Uh in the movies, doc or dad's all like gowned up and got his mask on and blah blah blah,
Okay.
big bright lights, fucking legs up in stirrups. There is a sheet like from covering top to bottom, right?
Okay.
Right in half. And then the doctor's like down there, fucking lights shining, like checking everything. You got like, I don't know, 6, 7 people around, like helping out, doing everything, right? Is it? This
Oh
is
no,
what
no, absolutely. Yeah, I
this is
was
what I'm expecting. Okay, and knowing I don't do well in those situations, my thought is I'm like, okay. And we had talked about it. She's completely fine with it. She's like, yeah, you're just gonna be up by my head the whole time. Like, We're gonna, like I'm gonna hold her hand and I'm gonna help you get through it, and they can do their thing down there. I don't need to see what's going on. Um, I'll stay behind the fucking sheet. Much to my surprise, apparently they don't do that shit like that anymore.
That's a new generation, son.
Dude, wild. So what happens? The shit finally kicks in. She's sleeping a little bit. I hear the door open. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. It's
Game
time,
boy.
Like
I'm surprised that the trooper by our main didn't just start blaring, dude. Like,
I might have had it pumping on the fucking phone. I don't know. So we get in there Tuesday. It is now Friday at like 4:30ish a.m.
Okay.
Right. And so we have been in there a good chunk of days. We've been in there for a while. It's nice to finally be like, okay, here we go. The door opens and I'm like, here we go. Fucking, it's not even technically a doctor. It's a midwife. Okay. I don't know what the difference is. They're pretty much doctors, but I think they just kind of deal with like the whole, I don't know if it's a maternity thing or whatnot.
Okay.
But so midwife, one single fucking nurse with her. Okay. One other girl. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then she goes, okay, we're going to get ready to push. And she looks at me. She's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. She's got the epidural. Her legs are fucking like numb to the world. She said, this nurse is going to be over here. She's going to hold her leg up like this, blah, blah, blah. And she said, you're going to stand over here and you're going to hold this leg up like this.
You are.
Oh, me, sir. Me. And I'm a little like, I just kind of shake it like, excuse me? Like,
yeah.
I'm holding a leg.
Is this in our insurance policy? Like, am I able to do this?
Right. Is this for like, I mean,
like, you guys short staffed or what?
Are you cutting costs on me here?
Yeah, dude.
Motherfuckers.
I don't pay a premium for this shit.
But yeah, dude, she was like, you're going to hold a leg. And I was like, whoa, oh. And I mean, dude, at this point, I'm like, fuck it. Anything I can do to get this thing done with and over. So she's like, here, you're going to hold the leg like this. She's going to hold the leg on that side. I'm going to be down here fucking making sure everything's cool. And she's like, so here's what's going to happen. She said, she asked her if she could feel her contractions. Now, the medicine had kicked in like waist down, I guess. So like she said she didn't feel any like pain of the baby coming out. She felt more pressure. So it wasn't like painful. She said she could feel like contractions like stomach back area. So she's like, there was definitely some like pain that probably shouldn't have been there, but fuck it. Like at this point she was fucking beat. She was tired and it was like, whatever, I'll go through it just to get this fucking shit over with kind of thing. And she's like, so every time you feel one of those, we're going to push. And they were like, they wanted her. They were like, you got to grab behind your knees, right? Legs up, grab behind your knees, pull them into your fucking chest, curl your head down and like fucking push for 10 seconds at a time.
Oh my God.
She's like, we're like, push like you're taking the biggest shit of your life, essentially. Right?
Yeah, it's like to me the day after Thanksgiving, dude. I'm in there breathing hard.
Dude, and they're like, every time you feel one, we're going to do it 3 times. And fuck, dude. I don't know how she didn't fucking pass out. It reminds me of that story I told on here about passing out in the lunch line, making my face red. I thought she was doing the same thing, and I'm like, dude, she's gonna blow a gasket up there. I don't know. Her face was red as fuck, just pushing like a motherfucker, and I was like, oh my, like looks very uncomfortable. But here I am holding a motherfucking leg, like I'm just down there.
Right.
I'm front and center, man. So this thing starts happening, and I don't know, half hour in, she's like, oh my, the midwife, she's down there checking. She's like, oh, I see hair. She's like, I see hair. He's got hair.
Man.
Kind of wild, dude. Really is. So you hear that and you're like, all right, like and she's like, sometimes it takes people like over an hour to get here. Like you're doing great. Keep going, keep going. And just keeps hammering. It's a process.
Uh,
She is very much the planner though, so she's always like, how am I doing? Like how much longer?
right.
And I know it's pissing her off, but the doctor's constantly coming back and going, as long as it takes, as long as it takes. Like that's how much longer. She does not like that answer. She wants like, 2 hours. But I don't want the answer because I don't want to know.
Right.
I don't want to know how long I'm in for here. So during this process, I will say this. You talk about your dad watching the um, Price is Right.
Come on down, Bob.
We had the TV on, and she actually commented on it after. But it was one of the nights the Pirates played the Padres, and they were on the West Coast.
Ah, nice.
So now it was 4 a.m, so the game was over, but the replay was still running. So every time I had to zone out and catch a breath, like I just stand there holding the leg and look up and lose myself in the Bucko game for a little bit.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Now she did comment afterwards. She was like, I remember looking at that fucking TV and being like, are the Pirates really still fucking playing?
Yeah, they're in the 35th inning.
I was like, and then I explained it to her afterward. I was like, no. I said they did play late. I said it was just the replay though. And she's like, oh my god, I couldn't figure out why they were still on fucking TV.
Oh man.
So we're sitting there and we're pushing, and eventually, dude, I mean we're just, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half goes by, and then I start seeing the motherfucking head poke out. Dude, the head started to fucking poke out, and I could see the fucking hair now. And I'm like, holy shit, we're here. And at times the doctor's like, she'd get the fucking nurse, she'd be like, give me a big glob of fucking lube. And she was like, we're making a slip and slide for this fucker. And she'd like all around his head. She'd lube it up. She's like, we're gonna fucking slide him right out of here. And I'm like, fuck, let's go. So we're seeing the head now. And I guess I wasn't sure exactly how this was gonna work. Because she was like, so first we got to get the head out, and then he's got to kind of figure out how to get his shoulders out and blah blah blah. Whatever. I don't know what kind of timeline we're looking at because she won't give the fucking timeline.
Right.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So at some point, dude, I mean, the head is there and the head is out. And the wife's a fucking trooper at this point, and the doctor at some point was like, if I caught her taking some breaks, and that's fine. I didn't care at all. Like there were times she told me after, she was like, there were times where I could feel the contraction, and she's like, but I was like, fuck this, I can't push right now. Like,
right. Okay.
I need a break. And then, but at some point, the doctor said, if you got another one, give it. Like, you don't want to lose progress. And when she heard that she could fucking lose progress, a fucking
back at it.
Switch right in her brain. Like, wait, you mean that fucker can like kind of suck? No, we're going. Because I did see it. Like the head came out at one point, and then like he kind of went back up in, like like after she was done pushing. Like one of those turds that gets stuck. Like you feel it start coming out, and then if you take a break, like it kind of pulls back up, and you're like, okay,
Oh, that's like, dude, when you got a shit real bad, and then you hold it back, but then like 3 hours later, dude, it's like you're shitting Lincoln Logs. It's like,
yeah, dude, once it put tears in your eyes, like fuck, should have let it go earlier.
Oh man.
But so then she goes from, they want 3 per contraction. She's like, fuck it, dude, I'm doing 4. She's doing 5 at times. I'm like, holy fuck. She's like, sometimes I wasn't even sure if I was still having a contraction, but I was fucking pushing anyway. I don't care. And whatever. Dude, I watched the midwife. And now at this point, I will say there were a few times we're in the middle of this shit, right? and we're pushing, and the midwife is like, okay, just keep pushing every time you have a contraction. I gotta go check on another patient. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of like, fuck it, like, wait, you're fucking leaving? Like, you're leaving. So it was literally me and the nurse, two of us in there, one on each leg, and like, she'd just tell us when she felt, and we just count from fucking 10 and be like, okay, like, push again, like, fuck it, let's go. Like, dude, I'm a pro at this point. I've been in this hospital so long. I know everything.
Yeah, dude, you're probably a certified RN, dude. You could
Dude,
probably get in the game.
buttons were going off. I was like I was shutting shit off all the time. Like I knew how to silence something. I was like, oh no, we're not listening to that. She don't need that right now.
Right.
I didn't even know how to read a fucking blood pressure when I went in there. I didn't even know what the fuck the numbers meant, even in the slightest bit. I still really don't know, but I do know where they should be. Like,
all right, yeah, dude.
every time that thing went off, I was like watching. I was like, oh, okay, oh, you're good. That's perfect. That's where we want to be. Like, yeah.
It's still doing a crossword puzzle, dude.
Still doing a crossword puzzle. Like I said, shutting shit off. Like, oh, you need something? Okay, I got you. Like, hold on. I wasn't even calling nurses. I was doing it myself by the time it was over. But we're sitting there, and yeah, so we're doing it alone. And eventually, she's like, the doctor, I do have to go check on somebody else. And it was like, okay, like we're fucking like dude, I think I've seen hair at this point. I don't know. So I'm like, we're pretty fucking close. Where are you going? Like, and
yeah,
then
what's more important? I mean, this is like,
well, and that's the thing, and that's also part of the reason why sometimes it took so long to get a nurse back for us, or like a doctor to come in and see us, because they were probably in labor or doing something else, you know. And yeah, you gotta fucking they do have other patients. So, but they were very short breaks. Eventually, she comes back in, and then she puts on like the fucking delivery gown, right? Like, and
okay.
I was finally like, oh shit, we're here. Like this, we're here now. Like this is close. And then other people start showing up. And then they start prepping. Like there's like the scale is in the room and all that kind of stuff. Like they just, once they get the baby out, they do all the early stuff right there in the room with you. So now we've got a handful of people in there. So I'm like, okay, if we're here. And at some point, she kind of, the head's pretty far out. She grabs it, and dude, I thought she was gonna pop his head off like a bobblehead, dude. She just had her hands wrapped around this kid's head, and I kind of start pulling, like, and I'm like, that thing's gonna fucking pop off. I don't even see, like, I can't even see anything else, and you're just ripping on it. And I mean, I'm watching that. And all of a sudden, the whole fucking thing came out. The rest of them. It went from like just the head, and then I swear in like less than 2 seconds, shoulders fucking like slip out, and then the whole rest of the guy comes out. And then he's there. Or just like that.
Oh man.
It was fucking wild. I mean, it's weird when they come out. They change colors pretty fast because, like, I don't know, they're up there. They're like very dark, I think. But then they come out and like he turned like white real quick, and then I don't know. It was strange. I saw a lot of things going on, confusing. So they took him, and then the one thing I didn't do, which look, I give myself credit for hanging in there. You know, making it through all that shit, not passing out, not being too bad about it. The one thing they did offer that I didn't do was cut the cord. I was like, nah, I'm good on that, man. Like, I've made it through everything. He's here. Like, I'm good.
Dude, the only time I'm cutting the cord is streaming. Fuck that, dude.
Fuck.
Oh my.
So crazy. They grab him. They take him over. They're like, do you want a picture? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like they have them on the scale. So like I took a picture with my phone. I'm not
That's
great.
That's the one
with
you
that.
sent to me.
Yeah. He's just sitting there on a scale. Like I was like, and then all of a sudden you have a fucking child. Like
I know. I was looking. I was like, is he at the deli? Like waiting. Oh, that's a kid.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
Like is that a full turkey?
Is that roast beef? Yeah, is that a full turkey?
Those are some fucking thin drumsticks, bud.
Right? What are the
Getting ripped
wings?
off. Now, but they did that, and uh, they kind of cleaned. They weighed them. They made sure everything looked good. They checked them out. Everything was solid. Um, and then they brought them over. We got to hang out with them for a little bit. Now, because of the whole situation with the reason she was induced and everything because of the high blood pressure.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing, when they broke her water to kind of try and
What
help.
is that? I have no idea. Like when I said my water broke.
So I'm pretty sure it's just like a sack of fluid. And
Okay.
like, I think that helps the whole labor process because what I understood happened because the one lady came in and was like, yeah, we're going to break your water. Like hoping that it would kind of hurry up the process a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure she was like, yeah, we just kind of stick like a little hook in there and like pop it kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
Christ.
Fuck it. But no thanks. Something along those lines. But they did it and it didn't go as fast as they wanted to. And I guess when you do that and the birth takes a lot longer after, like there's a higher risk for infection because of that water that's just kind of sitting there.
Okay.
Right. So I think the one nurse or the one doctor kind of jumped the gun, just kind of wanted to get everything moving and, did it as a thing to just try and help out. And it kind of sucked because she sat there for so long. They're like, we do have to, that on top of everything else. Like they're like, we are going to have to take him like downstairs pretty soon after you give birth to him. They did let us know, like they let us know in advance. They're like, I'm sorry, but like he's not gonna be able to stay here too long with you because we do have to take him. We have to take some IVs. We have to check some of his blood, make sure that it doesn't have an infection. And I mean, again, this place down there was great, so I was kind of on board with anything they said. I was like, you haven't steered us wrong. Like you guys obviously know what you're doing. I'll let you kind of take the lead, and I'm not gonna complain. Like it sucks. We kind of wanted to hang out, but we didn't get that. We got 10 minutes, and then like it sucked because the nurse was like, okay, like, she's holding him, and she's like, yeah, we do have to take him. And
yeah.
it was, obviously
for the best, brother.
Right. So she wasn't super happy about that. Obviously, didn't expect her to be. But they took him down. We dealt with her, and I mean, man, after that, we kind of just started fucking like. I had to start cleaning up the room because like that was the delivery room, and then they just ship you off to a different room.
Okay.
And they're like, this is where you're gonna stay for a few days. We're gonna keep an eye on the baby. We're gonna keep an eye on you, make sure everything's cool, and then you're gonna go home. So they
now is Caitlin out of pain? Like the kid is out. Is she still in any pain? Is it like
not really, man?
Gone? Yeah. Like
I mean, dude, the trembling of her body afterward, just because of what it went through, like after she like. Watching her legs fucking shake and shit, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, dude,
Going through a trauma like that, I think your body just fucking, like, it was almost, dude, looked like category fucking 8 earthquake, man.
I was just thinking, that gives me, like, dude, my mom, dude, pop one out and, like, okay, it's time for the big dog. Like, wait, like, 45 minutes, man. Jesus, like, let's run it back. Like, what's good? Yeah, dude. Oh, man, that's what I always told my mom. They say the best for last, man. Oh, my God. I remember, man, I asked her if childbirth hurt her, and she said, have you seen the size of your head? I was like, touche, Mom, touche.
Very true.
They just wore it out, dude.
Can't even buy a hat in a store. Come on.
Oh, my God. Yeah, my dad probably couldn't do nothing after that. It blew her out. Man, I can't believe I just said that about my mom, Buck. All right, dude, go ahead, dude. I'm going to get stupid.
But yeah, so they took him, we kind of hang out, got her something to eat. Like, she hadn't been able to eat for a little while. I don't think you're able to eat on the, like, epidural. So she's out of commission for a bit. We got her something to eat. They kept checking her. They, did all the afterbirth nonsense, and I mean we kind of hung out, and they the nurse whenever we were leaving we're like, okay, like we'll take you down, we're gonna go see him, and then we'll take you up to your other room. So we went down, we saw him, he's just kind of hanging out in there, doing some blood work and making sure he's all cool. We went up to the room, met our nurse, and then we were able to go back down. Uh, my mom stopped over like right after, uh, but we were the only ones allowed downstairs to see him, like
Okay.
only the parents. So we went, saw him. We hung out. Some of her family started showing up and everything, and we were kind of like, we don't know if he's gonna be in the room or what, like. And then eventually they came up, yeah, like, oh yeah, dude, everything's great, like he's coming up to you, like, and it was they fucking wheeled him up like 20 minutes later, and then he just hung out in the room, and it was like, here, he's yours, like kind
Oh
of
man.
all the family came over. I mean, there were her family fucking all about that shit. They show up, they're there right away. My family is very much the one that's like, and I get it because I'm the same way. It's like, okay, we'll stay out of your hair. Let me know like when you want me to come in. Like I'll absolutely want to come see him, but you know, I know you're doing your thing.
Right.
But dude, when he came to the room, I think we had maybe like 15 minutes before the first people showed up, and then within like I would say a half hour, there were like 10 people in the room, and it was fucking crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh, let me see him, let me see him." Uh, pretty pretty intense. You know, there was a lot of shit going on. It's like we
Right.
just had this
Chaos.
kid. Now there's fucking everybody's here. Like, huh. Um, but it was nice because some people started showing up. I was finally able to get some sleep. Like this had happened, so it was like I'm fucking beat. Once they left, I fucking passed out on the couch. I think somebody else came and visited, and I didn't even wake up through the whole thing. She's like,
Oh
"Oh,
shit.
yeah, dude, I woke up," and she's like, "Oh yeah, like blah 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 was here," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "I don't even remember. Like I was sleeping the whole time." Uh, but yeah, from there we hung out, and I mean, we were just in the room. The nurse would come check on him, and occasionally they'd take him. They kept like testing him occasionally just to double check and make sure everything was cool. So we hung out for a bit, and they scheduled us to leave on Sunday. So Monday we went. Monday was the doctor's appointment where they're like high blood pressure. We actually got to go home Monday night, and then we were in the hospital Tuesday, and they're like, okay, you get to leave Sunday. So from Tuesday to fucking Sunday, living in the
Wow.
hospital. Um, and Sunday they're like, yep, we'll discharge you like early afternoon, and then you guys can get the fuck out of here. And of course, Sunday comes, and it's like, okay, finally, everything we finally made it through. And they go, well, we tested his blood, and now there's a little bit of another issue, and that was the the liver function because you got to remember he was like 3 fucking weeks early or something.
Right.
Um, the the liver function, there was like some kind of something in his blood, high levels. So they were like, yeah, we want to we want to check on him. And I'm like, okay. So they bring in this fucking like blue light. They put these little fucking foam sunglasses on him, and they just set him in there. Like, yeah, the light helps, like, helps get all that nonsense out. And then, so he was chilling in there, enjoying it. It's like a suntan for him.
No doubt, dude. SPF 50, boy.
But it ended up like they checked him a little bit here and there, and then it ended up being like, we're gonna have to keep him overnight. Now that was the big one that like kind of killed the wife. You know,
Yeah.
all this time we spent in the hospital, all this, we did the disgusting labor, days worth, and you finally have the kid, and it's like, oh, we're going home, and then they're like, we got to keep him, but you got to go because your insurance says like, okay.
Oh man.
I mean, we were there so long, and she was doing good, like there were no issues with her, so they were like, like, yeah, you still got to go home today, like you got to leave, but we got to keep him. So it was a tough one, but I was like, look, you've been here for God knows fucking how long. I said, yeah, you've ate shitty cafeteria meals. Like, let's go home. Let's go see the dogs because my mom had dropped the dogs off earlier because we were like, well, we'll be home, so like bring them over.
Okay.
And so I was like, let's go see the dogs. Let's go get something to eat. We'll come back down tonight. Um, and we did. We came. It was nice. She was relieved to get the fuck out of there. It was nice to. We got an
Right. Yeah,
actual
it's gotta
fucking
be.
meal, saw the dogs. And then we went back and saw him Sunday night. He was doing fucking great. He was loving it. He was just, she was worried about him, but we hung out with him for a few hours, and then we dipped probably like 10ish. And then she actually caught a ride in with my mom. My mom works down there, right, pretty much right next door.
Okay.
So she actually, yeah, my mom was over a few times while we were in there. She's just like walk over on her lunch break, like, how you guys doing? Like, stopping over, seeing us, anything she could do, that kind of thing. And so she caught a ride with her like 6 a.m. the next day. And she was down there, and they were like, he's fucking phenomenal. He's doing great. Like, he's pretty much ready to go. So I woke up, drove down a little bit after she called me, and we fucking picked him up and we brought him home.
Man. No, dude, I forgot to mention this. Dude, I was still up because I was on night shift. And he was born, and I put on, No More Crucified Days because that's my favorite Tickle song.
Right.
And, dude, I have I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. I have 563 songs on that playlist, and it's always on shuffle. And when I hit next, dude, and it was 5 a.m. by the Go Set, dude, it was the cry, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, this isn't even real. This isn't even real. Because it was 5 a.m., and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
5 a.m. And the song itself, and I mean, dude, that's an all-time banger too.
Oh, that's a 5-star track, dude. And I always give Katie Muffley credit. We were going to pick up her car at Spills after one of them chaotic nights, and when she always sings, man, it's 5 a.m. and I'm driving through New Alec once again, dude. That fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, fuck. Brings back good old days, huh?
Yeah, they were, huh?
But yeah, son, we brought him home. We've had him home for, I don't know, 2 weeks now. And everything's good. He's
awesome,
dude. It's so fucking fun, man. It's it's nice. The wife's work is phenomenal. She's gonna have quite a bit of parental leave. So
hell yeah, dude. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and they're like, and she has like checked in here and there because she's fairly important. So she checks in occasionally, but like she's even said like her bosses hit her up and like, I don't like seeing you on. Go, like, get off, go enjoy your time with like your kid. Like,
hell yeah.
So they're super supportive.
Awesome, man.
That's great. And then we hang out here. We've kind of taken the like the staggered shift approach because he needs fed every few hours.
So, what's he eating?
Just formula right now.
Okay.
She's working on breastfeeding. Like, it's it's up and down. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. And I just probably with him being a little early, I don't know that her, but we're working on it, dude. I got to tell you this. I got to tell you this story. This is phenomenal. So hospital story.
Right. No, it's just the one you said you were going to tell me this.
Probably.
On the podcast. Yes.
Hospital story. Okay. So we're in there. She had the lactation nurse come up to like just help you, show you things and give you tips and whatnot.
There's a thing called a lactation nurse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I want to get in on that, dude.
Yeah, they specialize in titty milk, dude.
Oh man.
I did, and I'll tell you what, it was this old lady with a cane, and I was like, "You can't produce. I don't know why I'm listening to you."
Yeah, like, when's the last time you milked them titties, cuz?
Right.
Never gone.
Swinging udders, but so she was giving her tips and whatnot. So like, you gotta like pump those things and shit. You gotta get all the excess milk out, and I don't know where they fucking harden up and hurt. It's a whole fucking weird thing. Apparently we have a lazy kid too, which,
wow.
What the fuck did you expect?
Yeah.
The lactation nurse was like, yeah, he's a little lazy on the latching, like grabbing onto the nipple, but fucking cannons like that in your mouth, I don't know. It's probably not easy. But so little bit of trouble, and eventually it was like we got to supplement with a little bit of the fucking formula because we just want to make sure he's fed and getting proper nutrients and whatnot. So we've been doing a combo of both, and so she was giving some tips and whatnot. And the one day we're sitting there, and I think it was the Sunday we were leaving, and you get hospital meals, so it's like fuck it, like she ordered breakfast or whatnot, and we're hanging out, and the nurses are in all the time, doctors in, and they give a quick knock, and you're like, yeah, come in, and the nurses come in, and here's what we're gonna do, like, we need this, or we're gonna check this, or whatever.
Okay.
So we ordered some breakfast, and we're sitting around waiting, and she's got a pump to help, initiate like all the, get the milk flown. She's got a pump, get milk flown. So she's sitting over on the couch. I'm actually laying in the hospital bed, getting a little rest. And titties out, pumping them. Do you ever seen a breast pump? Like it's a little compact thing. It just fucking makes suction, and you essentially put these like cups over your titties, and it kind of.
I think I seen something on Pornhub.
They have those, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's essentially exactly what you think it would be. It's like a little cone-shaped cup you put over your titty, and it fucking sucks on it. Just emulates a child. So she's over on titties out, pumping these things. Quick knock on the door. Come in. Under the assumption it's a fucking nurse or a doctor. It's a motherfucking food. This guy, and I mean, he wasn't like old, 20s, early 30s maybe. Comes in, has a tray of food. It's a breakfast we ordered, and I'm the first guy he sees because I'm in the bed, and he's probably confused. Right. Like, why is this guy laying in the hospital bed? Like, he didn't just give birth. You one of those new trans? Did you give birth? I don't know.
Oh,
that didn't work. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and like he's like, yeah, like hey, how you doing, food? And after he sees me, kind of looks to his left, and she's on the couch, titties out, pumping, and the shields are clear, like you could see through them. I mean, you could see them. She's just sitting there holding them to her chest, like, and the look on his face was the most priceless thing I've ever seen. He fucking color flushed. He went from like looking at her. I think he looked at her, saw the tits, and then like eyes straight up to the wall. Like, okay, I won't look at you. Like, looking over her, set the tray down, and what they do is like scan your bracelet when because she had a bracelet on with like a barcode. So they scan your bracelet to like, all right, she got a meal like at this time or whatever.
Okay.
Didn't even ask for the fucking bracelet, man.
This was on the house.
Turned like most stiff neck, like just jaw open, like kind of like, oh my God, like turned, walked straight the fuck out.
Were you dying?
As soon as he shut the door, she was like, what? She's like, you didn't even give me time, and I just lost it. I was like, did you see the fucking look on his face? And dude, we were laughing so I was crying because I was like, dude, that guy, and look, I know he's worked here and he's probably seen some crazy shit, but the look on his face says that's probably top 5 material.
Oh, dude, I guarantee you he went home and was like, honey, you'll never believe what happened when I was giving
She was pumping her tits on the couch. Dude, I just said come in like nothing, like, well, come on in. And he walked in, and she was like, dude, you didn't. I was like, I just assumed it was a nurse. Like, I'm sorry. Right. My bad. Fuck.
Oh shit, dude, that's awesome.
But yeah, dude, we've it's a good time. He's pretty cool. We hang out. I take like the late shift. I'll watch him till like 3-4 in the morning. So I'll get those like late night ones, and I'll feed them, 3 or 4, and then I'll try and set them down and see how much sleep I can get out of them. I'll lay down and get sleep, and then she wakes up early and fucking takes them from there. And
Man,
it's great.
I love it, dude.
We went to the park yesterday, and fucking took him for a walk in the stroller. I mean, he's been out shopping a few times.
Oh, dude, he actually he texted me last night and said, "Take the Warriors."
Did he?
So, yeah, he's wanted to know. Yeah, he's like, "Don't tell my dad, dude." I was like, "I got you, fam."
I can't tell you how many times I hit him up in the womb. I was like I used to put the hand on the magic 8-ball and be like,
shake him up.
I would like, hey, Pens tonight, and I'd wait for the kick, and I'd be like, okay, sir, you said it.
Yeah, man, yeah, we gotta get him into gambling quick, dude.
Oh fuck. Yeah. So I mean, it was a long process. It was something. It was.
Dude, I hate sounding like a basic bitch, but my heart is happy, dude. My heart is. It was terrific.
What a day.
Okay. Yeah,
dude. I've we have just absolutely been loving it since it is.
Just relax. Yes, everything.
We're home. Good. We're good. I mean, they gave us a scare the other day. We fucking took him for a checkup, and the lady was like, I don't know. He looks yellow. You should go get him tested see if his liver function was like kind of dipping again. And they sent us down to the fucking hospital, and we're like there. She was like, yeah, just get it taken and then like hang out, because if it's back up, like we're probably going to have to keep him overnight. So we went, we ate a fucking meal there, and we're like fucking waiting around. And the thing is, we couldn't get anywhere because all the doors fucking lock and you need like a badge. And I'm like, I don't have a fucking badge. Like, we're not technically patients here.
Shit, right?
We just came to get some fucking shit taken. So it was a little wild. We kind of got lost, but we waited it out, and she called. She was like, oh, I'm sorry, but they were better than I even expected. So you can take them home.
Excellent.
So we came back home. Like I said, we tried not to overprotect so far, because we took the pediatrician, and he was like, yeah, just take them out. Just try not to take them anywhere where anybody's sick or anything like that. And yeah.
That's great, dude. I've been like I said, I was trying to get my mom to tell me some shit about me, and she said, when I come out, that doctor looked at me and said, this kid is going to have sensitive skin, and motherfucker, he wasn't lying. Oh my God, dude. Sunburnt. Like, I used to get these crazy rashes on my forehead, and I was like, what the fuck? See, So he got more going for him in a couple weeks than I got going for me in 29 years, man. So.
The only other thing, so we went through a little phase where, man, he didn't poop.
Backed up.
Dude, they were like, yeah, you should be getting like 5 poops a day. And I'm like, and then he went 24 hours without shitting. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, he's back on schedule now, but a lot, the changing, diaper changing, pretty wild. He flails a lot. So if he takes a shit, it's tough. You gotta hog time a little bit.
Dude, I'll throw up.
Because
that's one I'm gonna yak right now.
Kicks his fucking feet around. I've seen a little poo. He's projectile vomited on me. A little bit of milk, which has been cool. Like, I've been burping him. He'd look right at me, and then just he got a good 12 inches on it, man. He's working.
God, all those fucking early mornings in Island, I need you to burp me at the goddamn toilet. Fuck, come on, dude, help me get this out of me, man.
But the best is I've changed him a few times, and he is a boy. And they do say watch for it, watch for the stream. Apparently when cold hits his dong, he tends to pee. And I was like, I hadn't seen it, so I one night I'm changing him, and I'm wiping him up a little bit, and I look up and I go, where the fuck did all that water on the wall come from? And then I look,
strong kidneys,
and it's by his fucking head, like it's on the mattress beside him too. And I'm like, oh, dude, you pissed. I was like, you pissed everywhere. So that was the first. Then I was helping the wife change him one time. Big old, like, sometimes it gets so bad you got to call in backup. Like, yo, you got to contact. Like, I got to get under here and scrub a little bit. You got to come hold him. And I'm standing there helping her out, middle of the room, and sure enough, pisses all over me. All like stream straight to me,
Just
but
go.
the best. I'm and I started laughing at this one, and I had to call for backup after this. But I had his legs up, wiping them, and I look up, dude, and he pissed all over his face, pissed
Oh,
all over himself. I was like, oh my god, buddy! Like there was pee on his forehead, all up by his head, and I called her, and I was like, dude, I started laughing. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. But I was like, dude, you got to come help me. You got to come clean his face off while I finish cleaning him up here.
oh man! So he's not hung like his dad.
Dude, I'll tell you, very liquidy shits. And the problem is, he's got a hanging sack on him, dude.
Already?
He's got hangers. And you got to get up under those suckers.
Oh, man.
It's tough because he don't like it. He's like, leave my nuts alone. But
right,
like,
get off me, Dad.
You got to get up under the sack because he gets that shit everywhere.
Oh man.
But yeah, dude, it was a wild experience. It was kind of part of the reason we took a couple weeks off here because you know.
Oh, it's been chaos.
Yeah, it has been pretty wild. We're kind of falling into figuring everything out here, and it's been a fun time though. I mean,
hell yeah, dude.
I'm excited to see what it brings, and he's gonna be dope as shit.
No doubt, dude. No fucking doubt.